Story Species Story Medicine, Extra Strength. Ready to take your medicine with Gina Casella?
Species of medicine, open for the task. Extra strength is everything you'd ever ask. Many with the soil, many with the sea. Earth is a medicine for you and for me. Scrubbing off the tarnish, building up the trust. Honest little tales, rising from the rust. Truth is in the living, truth is in the skin. Open up the portal, let the healing in. Extra strength, extra soul. Medicine to make us whole. Feel the rhythm, feel the pace. Yeah, every single space. Are you ready for the cure? Keep it steady, keep it pure. Extra strength.
Hey, Dragon Dreamers, Gina Casella here. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. And I thought I changed my backgrounds here. Let me just fix that up here.
Hey, Dragon Dreamers. Gina Casella here. And welcome to Story Species Story Medicine, Extra Strength. When we share our stories, we give and receive medicine. One of the best ways to heal is with the earth. And that's exactly what we do with each other right here on Story Species, Story Medicine, Extra Strength. Ready to take your medicine?
There I am. Hi, everybody. I'm having some tech issues. Thanks for bearing with me there. How are you all doing? Glad to be here. Okay. Sometimes it's the user, sometimes it's the technology. Today, it's definitely the technology. So my guest couldn't make it today for Story Species, Story Medicine. And when that happens, you get stuck with me. So hopefully that's a good thing for you. And you know what? It is swimsuit weather here. We've been having tornado warnings, so I hope everybody is feeling safe. But when I can wear my swimsuit, I put it on. And sometimes I even set the intention to match my clothes with my themes. Like if it's the dark moon, I wear dark clothes. When it's the full moon, I wear brighter clothes. And if I'm talking, when I was a teacher, if I was teaching about insects and pollinators, I used to have all different kinds of funky dresses with different colors and animals and insects. And so anyways, today I wore my my bikini that has some spider webs on it because it has to do with looshing. So those of you who are new, a big dragon welcome to all of you. On Tuesdays, I do Story Species, Story Medicine, and then Wednesdays, I go live. So if anybody out there has a story that they would like to share, definitely reach out to me. I am a firm believer that stories are medicine, and when you give and receive stories, you give and receive medicine. And Rainbow Flame, I see you there, and you need truck. How are you doing? Good to see you all the way from Russia. I'm in Ontario right now, so it's 1:35 p.m. Nice to have you hanging out with us. So those of you who are familiar with me, you already know all this information. And so if you're not familiar with me, this is a good Story Species, Story Medicine. to get familiar with me because all my content is merging together and it's really exciting. I write books, Oracle, the 8 books that I published. I still have like a whole box more to publish. The downloads keep coming. And basically, all my content is merging together. So all the medicine, if you will, is merging together. And there's a new wave of medicine, movie medicine. That's right. Mini movie medicine at this time anyways for yours truly. So I really want to transform my book series into a movie series. Total amateur newbie over here. And I'm working with some basic AI. I'm using Canva. I'm not being endorsed by them or anything. But if you're curious, that's what I'm using, Canva. And last year, I started falling down the rabbit hole and just playing around with AIs, trying to transform text into video because I heard about video AI. At one point, I was having success, but then it was just like way too much time and attention for a little minute, not even a minute worth of video. And these AI apps were costing a fortune, right? So if anybody out there has any suggestions for me, or if you would like to collaborate to make movies, if you have experience and all you basically need is the text and then you can boom, transform that into movies, definitely get in touch with me because I could really use your help. Jason H is helping me out and sounds like Jason H is going to be helping me make the bigger movies. And I'm going to be more in charge of these mini movies where you get a glimpse. So let me just introduce myself here, which is always kind of weird. But I'm your guest today, Gina Virginia Casella. And today I'm going to be talking to you about my movies medicine and also the conference. And that leads me to my slideshow. And then I'm excited to talk to you about Looshing. So let me pull up my slideshow here for you. I have a slideshow. Earlier when I was having tech issues, everything was open and ready to rock and roll, but I closed it all. Everything was kind of crashing down on me. Let me know in the chat if you can relate. So I have a folder here. It's all organized. Okay. So ISIS Project 30. Project 30, ISIS Unity Consciousness. And there's a bit of a delay between me talking and YouTube here. So, wow, I'm having a lot of tech issues. I'm pushing the buttons, but they're not working on me. I'm trying to add to the stage here. Okay. There is a bit of a delay between YouTube and what's going on here live. So I'm going to trust in the process here. So this is my slideshow, Project 30, ISIS Unity Consciousness. And what does this mean? It's basically an umbrella term for all my content merging together. Now, when I go live on Wednesdays, I promote all of this. But because Story Species, Story Medicine, Extra Strength is part of my content, it's part of Project 30. It's actually the foundation, if you will, of Project 30, because this is where people are sharing their story medicine. And I'm hosting conferences in honor of it. So this is all through dreams, half remembered, half misunderstood. And this is also how we unite through Isis, through the I. And there's much to be said about Isis, transforming that plural into the singular. So us is, eyes is, and then of course I as in the eyeball and the all-seeing, all-knowing, the God that we all are. So my content, this is what it's ranging right now. There's, like I said, books, Oracle, can sign up for different memberships. I help people identify and smash false inhibiting beliefs. I'm a master energy medicine practitioner, and I also do hypnotherapy. So anything I can help you with, from losing weight to having better confidence. Maybe there's a speech you'd like to make, or maybe you just would like to walk into the staff room and make yourself a damn cup of tea, but for whatever reasons you can't. You have a false inhibiting belief that's preventing you from doing that. You would like to take a vacation and go on a plane, but you have anxiety every time you fly. I can help you out with that. I can help you out with anything. It's just a matter of your readiness and willingness to undergo the mind reprogramming. So you can learn more information about that on my website. I'm really passionate about it. Once you get me started talking about rules of the mind, it's hard for me to stop. So the focus for this is on story species, story medicine, Looshing, my mini movies that are coming out. And of course, the Dragon Dreams movie series, as already mentioned, based on my real dreams, my real life, half understood, right? And half remembered. And as I'm remembering, I don't really feel triggered, so to speak, but it inspires me, if you will. And I fall down a lot of rabbit holes. So come dream with me, because you're part of this process. And part of the movies is actually me coming online on days like today and letting you know about it, and you participating in the chat. That's part of the movies too. So Jason H, he's going to help me make these movies. So I really appreciate that. If anybody else out there is into movie making, please reach out to me. I'm an amateur. I'm relying on professionals like Jason to help manifest this. So one of the best ways to heal, I do believe, is with the earth. And we are the earth, each and every single one of us. Pachamama in our own right. Walking, talking trees we are, filters, beaver dams. And when we share our stories, we share our medicine. And even if you don't need that medicine right away, or maybe it doesn't even apply to you, like any tool, you can take a story, put it in your toolbox. You can even alter it and use it as needed. We have all kinds of things to look forward to for 2026 anyways. This is my schedule. Tuesdays I go live like I am now for Story Species, Story Medicine. And I usually don't promote when I'm doing Story Species, Story Medicine. The focus is always on the guests. If they have a book, I promote it. I read from their book, check out my playlist. But the conference that I'm hosting is 3 weeks away. So I thought now's a good time to let viewers know. Wednesdays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, I hang out with you. So any questions you have about my content, or you just want to chill with me, absolutely love to have you come and hang out. If you have questions about my Oracle, ask me. That would be a good time. And if you would like to host me, I would love to be on your show. And Wednesdays, 1:30 Eastern, that's typically the best time for me to be on your show. I'm more than happy to talk about anything. If you leave it to me, I'll probably just promote Story Species, Story Medicine. But if you want me to do a special show just on rules of the mind, or just talking about dreams, or maybe you just want to have like random Q&A for me, I'm open to that. I also offer privates, and they are limited. So the Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, I used to work a good 60 hours a week. So I was working a lot more than 9 to 5, but I do have limited sessions that I offer to people, and you can get that on Buy Me a Coffee. We've got the conferences to look forward to. So we had a first conference called Promise of Spring. That happened Saturday, March 14th of 2026. And it was absolutely free. And I decided, you know what? The first one's always going to be free. The first one of the year. Promise of Spring really set the tone and helped to set precedents for the rest of the conferences. The rest of the conferences cost money, but it's so funny because it's predicted in my book series that the first conference, even though it's free, is going to generate the most amount of money because people just want to get in on the hype. So they donate money. And there's all kinds of interesting things to look forward to. Like in my book series, it's predicted that somebody's going to make a ballet based on the Dragon Dreams book series. And so just stuff like that, people inventing music, inventing movies, taking my movies that I create and then making them better as the AI gets better over the years and stuff like that. And so I'm really dazzled and excited to see where all of this goes. And I've never made predictions before, but you know what? Predictions are starting to unfold. Lots of synchronicity in my life. So let me know how you can relate in the comments. Summer Days is coming up Saturday, June 14th, and there's other dates there that you can look forward to. The in-person summer conference, that depends on how much money I'm going to be generating from Summer Days. It's also uncertain right now because Rosie, my cat, and I, we might be moving right in the middle of that. If you want to get in on speaking at the conference, you want to get in touch with me as soon as possible. The next one, Falling Consciously, is going to be Saturday, September 19th. And then we've got Season of Dreams, Saturday, December 12th. There's a limited 6 speakers per conference. And there's also space if you're into healing, if you provide some kind of healing. I would love to have you. So, lost my spot there. So a big thank you to the Dragon presenters and the Dragon monitors who really helped to make the last conference, Promise of Spring, possible. Simply would not be able to do it without you. And I really appreciate all the medicine sharing that folks are doing, becoming a medicine bearer, stepping through the crossroads of no longer lingering as a confused warrior, no longer lingering as a medicine wisdom keeper, but transforming into the medicine bearer. And it wasn't easy to do that. The Salem witch trials, I remind everybody, was just really like a handful of hundreds of years ago. We're talking the time of Shakespeare and after that, the King Henry VIII reign. So pretty scary stuff. And today, a lot of us are still segregated and outcasted in our communities. I myself, I share this all the time with people. People send me private messages all the time telling me how much they love me and they support me, but they're never going to like or subscribe to any of my stuff because they have kids to feed. They don't want this to cause upset with an employer or something like that. So they... in secret are following me, which I appreciate, but it's like, doesn't make me feel good, you know? And I know what it's like to be made fun of. The Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective, that's what it's about, dragons. Like, we get you. We're your soul tribe. We've all been there. We know what it's like. And we're still there. We're still outcast and you know, made fun of and whatnot. But you know what? Epigenetics matters. And when you are with your soul tribe, not just any community, but your soul tribe collective, then that's when the magic really starts to happen. Because, you know, here we go with the rules of the mind. When you feel safe, your amygdala, literally this little almond piece inside your brain, it relaxes. And when that little almond piece in your brain, the amygdala, relaxes, information can pass through, which means information processing can happen. Information that goes to your short-term memory, it's kind of like in and out of there. That's, you know, hence why it's called short-term memory. But if you can keep the amygdala relaxed, then the information in the short-term memory makes its way into the long-term memory, and you can transform that into ways of knowing. So I'm talking about stress to sum up what I'm saying. If you're stressed out, you can't think and process information. So think about all the folks out there who have bumps in the night stories, who feel like they're targeted, secret space programs, this business of one God or like monotheism or, more than one God, this business of the ET agenda. What kind of dreams are people even having? This confusion that I spoke to earlier about the confused warrior. That's what I call it, the confused warrior. Like, we've all been there. We get it. So just to rewind, these were the speakers from the last conference. I told my story about the Gnome King, finding the gemstones at the beach, how my waking life and real life are bridging. And it's interesting because when you connect with people, the storylines start to merge together. So there's a lot of synchronicity in my life. I've always seen things, or if I don't see it, I sense that something is there. And a lot of people are saying that consciously, whatever is going on, I don't pay attention to the science, but there's like a scientific level, there's an esoteric level. I let all the categories go, but a lot of folks out there believe that as part of our ascension process, that things like, dragons and unicorns, those blend into each other's worlds. And a lot of us feel like we're going crazy, like we're losing our minds. We can get into a conversation about the mental health stigmas, but you're not having a mental health crisis. There are such things as ghosts. There is a such thing as intrusive entities. When you really start thinking about it, it's disgusting, like spirits feeding off of you that have hooks and straws, literally. And I was in denial about that kind of stuff. And when I became an energy medicine practitioner, it was actually first and foremost part of me facing my fears in my own reality. And it was quite the relief. Alberto Villaldo and the Four Winds, his wife Marcella, to take me on their process and their journey, and to admit to things that, yeah, these things are true. That's what they do as a living. They extract intrusive entities. And that's what I do now, amongst many other things. So the Summer Days Conference, it's going to be going down June 13th. That's in 3 Saturdays, people. So get your tickets. They're $40 each Canadian. It's a phenomenal deal for an entire day's worth. Like, we start at 9 a.m. It's a prompt start. And I'll be hanging out at 8:30. You can hang out with us the day before at 11, hang out with us the day after for pre-conference hype, post-conference hype. There's always lots to look forward to. These are the speakers this round. We've got Laura Ferguson, who's also providing us with some sound healing music. And she's letting me use 2 of her songs. One of them is called Dark Night of the Soul, and the other one is called The Dragon, or maybe it's just called Dragon. I'm not sure, actually. It's a totally new release. It's not available yet. It comes out very soon in June, and you can go to Laura's website and pay for it now if you want. So you just pay the money. I think it's only $1 American, and then she gets an email and sends it to you. So you want to get in on that. Starseed Lolo is her music name. So Looshing, the movie, the mini movie, I'm using Dark Night of the Soul for that. Sheila Spiral's sister Murray is also going to be presenting. Julia Anchorhaven. You might recognize Julia Anchorhaven's name because she was part of our conference last time, working behind the scenes as a monitor. And I'm like, Julia, I'd really like you to present. And she's like, I'm not there yet on my journey. And I'm like, but you basically present every day throughout the day on your YouTube channel. And so when I was looking for speakers for Summer Days, I was really happy that Julia Anchorhaven was willing to step up, and she randomly monitors for me as well. I've had a lot of issues with trolls, especially last year. And then this year, when I just started breathing a whisper about the conference and making movies, the troll situation intensified. And that's how Julia and I connected, actually. I was on the Typical Skeptic podcast, and I was talking about trolls because I was getting trolls at that time, and I needed somebody to monitor for me. And then Julia basically since that day has just been monitoring for me. So I work with pull energy, and it's really nice that other folks out there are feeling the pull. And this is all part of the soul tribe, right? Soma Ara, She's going to be chatting with us too. Really looking forward to her presentation, Slavka, the Natural Sentient, Missy Hill. And you know what? Everybody's experiences and presentations, at heart, the root is the same. Everybody has their own experience and interpretation, and yet the bigger themes we all share, and yet working with themes of duality, they have nothing to do with each other, right? And so I'm wondering, how do you fit in? There's Julia Ankerhaven again, helping us out as a dragon monitor. Michael Kopf, it's nice to have him because he was a speaker at the last conference, but this time he'll be behind the scenes. And of course, there's Jason H. again, working behind the scenes. So every time I show this slideshow, sometimes I spend more time, less slides, time on the slides. This is the schedule. So if you wanted to see Laura Ferguson present, well, then you can look here, 8:50 a.m. And her healing, she's going to provide that at 9:30. So, you know, somebody like Missy Hill, who's going last, she's going to be speaking at 4:30. So I'm carrying my high quality items with me from my teaching career. I was a teacher for 20 years. This is my second time now putting on a conference and doing it completely by myself. So I feel really proud of myself. It definitely had its moments. And the second time around was a lot more fluid. I'm looking forward to the third time. The fourth time is going to be such a piece of cake. And I'm looking forward for everybody to be tuning in on that. So the schedule is very important to honor the speaker's time. And it's worth noting that each speaker, they're not just randomly showing up. They each have a beginning, a middle, and an end to their presentations. Their presentations are focused and in anticipation of any tech issues on the live day, because it's going to be a big day. It's going to be live. Show must go on attitude, right? So if there's a tech issue on my end, their end, I don't know, we got a few minutes maximum to figure it out. And then it's too bad. They're not going to present live. I'm going to play the pre-recorded video that they sent me in advance. So I'm really thankful for the Dragon presenters because I know that was extra homework for them to create those pre-recorded videos. However, I'm not going to be shy to say this, but the teacher in me will remind you how many presenters, or, you know, even if you didn't present at my conference, another conference, how many of you made yourself a pre-recorded video and you thought to yourself, thank God that wasn't the actual live presentation day, because when you make your pre-recorded video, you realize how scattered you are, how you need to, you know, refine this or that. Or huge reality check that I always have an issue with is the timing, right? We think we always have a lot more time. So in my shamanic community, my colleagues were making fun of me. They were saying that I was a timekeeper. We talk about the timekeepers, and I was telling them about the conference, and they were like, "You're a timekeeper, Gina." So I'm connected to gatekeepers and stuff like that, which is really fitting because, you know, it's only like my spiritual awakening, which AKA is better known as a crisis, happened a handful of years ago, but it's the last 2.5 years, at least to my conscious awareness, that I've been communicating with psychics and shamans who openly identify as psychic and shamans. And so I think to comments that they make, because folks in the shamanic community, they don't know anything about my books or, you know, stuff like that. And so for them to comment that I'm a timekeeper is somewhat hilarious. So really thankful for those of you who are sharing your story medicine, and thanking you so much for courageously dreaming with me. You know, if the world needed anything right now, it's hopes and dreams. And something like dreaming you think would be easy. It's not. Dreaming is all about manifesting and processing your information. And you can bet it has to do with other realities. So again, everything I'm saying is based on my book series and Oracle. So the Oracle actually came first. It was based on my real dream journals, but that's how much I had to say, dragons. I ended up publishing 8 books. I I have a lifetime more to publish. I was stressed out about it, but now I realize, now I'm making mini movies and more books will come. And this is what I do. This is my new matrix that I'm in effect in my new matrix. Woohoo, good for me. So get your own copy. Project 30, Isis, Unity Consciousness. I feel really thrilled about it. So what else do I want to show you? Okay, so let me show you this here, okay? Tell me, okay, seriously, tell me that that is not freaky, okay? This photo was generated by the AI, but it is freaky. And I'm telling you, I don't watch scary movies. It doesn't even make sense that I'm making a scary movie. And that's the thing. What doesn't make sense makes sense. And what makes sense doesn't make sense. That's the duality in my face. So Looshing. Looshing comes from book 8. And basically, to break down the story, what ends up happening is, of course, it's a beautiful sunny day, and I'm this girl, I'm a ghost, and I'm playing with these children, and I'm having a really nice time with them. And then it dawns on me that, it's getting late, and I don't need food or water, but the children do. Excuse me. So all of a sudden, there's like something comes through the door, and I think, oh, good, it's the parents. But there's this girl, Sophia, and she immediately recognizes these are intruders. These are not the parents. And she's very courageous, and she just stands in front of the children to protect them, just like a father bird would fly around to get attention. Don't go near my baby nest. Pay attention to me, the father bird. So anyways, the Looshers come in, and they kill the children. And it is like so over before it began. And then Sophia is just standing there like scared shitless. And me, I jumped inside of her body. I meant to jump beside her, but I ended up jumping inside of her. And I don't realize that until one of the Looshers starts talking to me and starts calling me Sophia. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm inside her body. And I'm only 3 years old in the story, by the way. And Sophia's about maybe 7 to 9 at the most. The other children were about, maybe ages 2 to 5, somewhere in there. So then what happens is the Loosher, he's like very fixated on Sophia/me, but he's not aware of me. And he's like very confused. All the Looshers are. They're confused about their bodies. They don't have blood or bones or organs. They're actually made out of these fat bodysuits, no different than Play-Doh or making cookies, and you have like a gingerbread cookie cutter. That's basically how the Looshers are made. They were at one point human. And so they come to feed, and that's why they killed the children. So the other Looshers, they go to like feed on the children, and their bodies start transforming into like fat bodysuits. They touch each other, and the individual bodies become one big kind of like donut fat body with all these heads. And the children are in the middle, and they sort of like dehydrate and disappear. That's how they're eaten. And thankfully, the children are dead at this point, so they don't feel any pain or anything like that. And, but just before that happens, time and space keep suspending. So I'm like scared, paralyzed with fear. And one of the Looshers is taking a special interest in me. And he's very adamant about killing me, but not before training me, because it's important for him that I die with honor. And this is part of his confusion, because in a past, like different realities and timelines before he was kidnapped and experimented on and transformed into a Loosher, he used to be quite the chivalrous warrior. And by the time the storyline ends, I aspire to be just like him. I mean, if anybody talked about violence and the virtues of war and how what it means to die with honor. Like this guy, he's the winner, okay? Because he does not promote violence. He promotes defending and transforming the violence into an art. So basically, dying with honor would mean us showing off our skills and learning from each other to the point that we get exhausted. And even if, like, you know, you have like the knife right to my throat, like you're not supposed to kill me. You're supposed to give me another chance. And even if I'm like ready to kill you, I'm not supposed to kill you. We keep giving each other chances because we're training and learning from each other. That's what it means to fight honorably. But then at some point, we tire out, and then it's like time to die, you know, because it's like, look, I'm having fun fighting you, but we either go our separate ways or you die because I'm a wall and you're not getting past me. And that's, of course, what it always comes down to. And after the warrior kills another warrior, they say prayers and stuff like that, and they bury the bodies. So it's just like, I'm very wowed by this. So a lot of that is not captured in the movie. A lot of it is inferring. It's a short story, and the mini movie, it's very mini. So so in his confused state, he's like wanting me to fight back, right? Well, I don't know how to fight. And so I do things like I grab a vase, but the vase is so heavy that it drops right out of my hand and it almost falls right on my foot. And the vase doesn't even crack. It just like thud onto the floor. And this is very concerning for the Loosher. He's very concerned because had that vase fallen on my foot, it would have broken my foot. Never mind just like, ooh, ow, my foot. It would have actually broken my foot. And that obviously would have been a very big problem if this was like on the battlefield. And so it's confusing because he's adamant on killing me, and yet he's concerned about my foot, you know? So then I grab another vase and I smash it in his face, and he keeps suspending time and space, almost like pausing time so that he could train me. And he trains me with things that make sense to me. Like he takes a basketball and shows me how to do a chest pass. And then that's how I do the chest pass to get the vase, smashing it in his face. And at some point he does kill me. So he goes and joins the other Looshers in the living room in this fat donut body that they're all one now, eating the children. And Sophia's body, it's not dead enough yet. So there's another Loosher that he's like waiting for her to be the right ripeness of deadness to add her to the other pile. And while he's waiting, he starts squeezing her at her body. And he's very fascinated because, you know, like when you squeeze your, like your ligaments, right? You can squeeze your forearm, you can squeeze here, but it moves my fingers. So it's all connected. And this fascinates him. And he's on the brink of remembering. Remembering what? Remembering organs, remembering bones, remembering blood. Because they used to have those things and they don't anymore. I don't even think they know what they have. They're just fat bodysuits, some kind of fat technology. And anyways, their leader comes, and this guy you don't mess with. And he mocks the guy saying, like, what are you doing with that girl's body? You should be over here with the rest. And he explains, like, you know, he advocates, I was waiting for her to be the right deadness or whatever. And he gets backhanded. And then the leader basically says, you better feast on her right now, or I'm going to basically kill you. You're not one of us. So the guy, he doesn't even do anything. It's this tooth that he has. The tooth comes out. It's like a canine tooth. So, you know, like vampires, they're like, ha, and they bite down and it penetrates the skin and it bleeds and then they suck the blood, right? Well, that's not what happens. The tooth comes out like a mechanical needle, and the tooth is sentient. It has its own mind and energy. And the tooth is in charge, and the tooth makes the guy like move his head forward, and it elongates the needle part, and then it penetrates into the girl's, Sophia's, neck. And when it penetrates into her skin, it's like a spider. So spiders, when they penetrate their prey, the inside of the prey, there's a chemical reaction that happens, and the blood and the bones and the organs, it all basically turns into milkshake. And then the spider siphons it just like drinking milkshake from a straw. So that's what the tooth did. So these looshers are some kind of fat body spider technology that consume food in this milkshake type style, like a spider, while simultaneously they also can consume energy, like in the example where they together transform into like a fat donut body. and they're very vulnerable in this state. They're very like foggy looking, and the energy feeds, and the children dehydrate in the middle. And then after the tooth, it's kind of like while the tooth is siphoning the girl like a milkshake, the guy's trying to break away, and finally he breaks away, and now like his eyes are all like black and red, and it's like he's drugged up and on this high from drinking this milkshake, and he's like, yeah, let's go eat more children kind of attitude. And the Looshers are like, yeah, let's get out of here, and they all leave, and they're happy leaving. And then I'm this ghost girl, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my god, what the hell just happened? And other than the broken vase, you would never know that such a horrific scene took place. And there's interesting dust. It doesn't look like regular dust. It's like a very dense and layered dust, almost like snowflakes, a cotton candy mixture. So at this point in the story, the Grim Reaper comes to collect the souls, and then we start talking. And I'm frustrated, like, if you're the big, powerful Grim Reaper, like, how come you can't go after those bad guys? And he explains to me, like, don't think of the Looshers as bad guys. They need to eat. They need to be sustained, just like me and you. And, he talks about the predation cycle. And, it starts to make sense. Like when the Looshers came, they didn't torture the children and violently kill them. Like, they came in and got the job done. That's what a true predator does. True predator will hunt and kill, right? It doesn't make fun of or mock in any way, shape, or form. So it gets you thinking. And there's a lot of inferring to do. Some of it I spell out. Like I start asking the Grim Reaper, like, maybe I'm a Loosher. Because in the beginning of the story, I'm playing with the children and they're very happy. I'm very happy. And so I start thinking like, well, maybe I'm feeding off of their happiness. This is just a different kind of the way it looks and sounds. But ultimately, I'm feeding off their energy. And then the Grim Reaper and we start laughing. I make him laugh. He makes me laugh. And we realize as we're making each other laugh, we're feeding each other. We're actually sustaining each other by our laughter. So laughter really is the best medicine, but I don't say that in the book. That's for you to infer. And something else that I infer, I don't spell it out in Looshing, is it challenges, like, are the Looshers even Looshers? What are they? What are they? Because if they're Looshers, then I'm a Loosher, and so is the Grim Reaper. Right? So energy, like whether it's in my book series, being a Loosher in the sense where I'm this girl and I have fun with the children and we laugh and we play and I feed off their energy, it feeds me. But in this Homo sapiens sapien body, in this 3D reality on planet Earth, emotionally you can get fed, right? But we also eat with our mouths. So we're still eating energy. right? And a lot of us, those of you who study plant medicine, there's language that's used, which actually, I was thinking about this the other day because I bought a head of lettuce and it still had the whole like root system. And it said live lettuce. And I thought, well, of course it's alive. And then I thought, well, actually, yeah, it's still alive, but the other lettuce that the root's been chopped off, like I guess that's dead lettuce, dying lettuce, and I never really thought about that before. I mean, you can't beat fresh produce, right? But even meat, like as soon as the animal or insect is dead, even if you're eating like the insect's alive, the moment it's dead, it's considered dead meat, and dead meat and live meat, they're just not the same thing. So I feel like the way of the future would not be to eat. This isn't part of Looshing. This is just me talking now. But the way of the future, I feel like Looshing would be an ideal method to consume food energetically, because biologically, we may or may not be able to eat in traditional ways that we're used to. And when you think about ETs and whatnot, a lot of ETs who live in space, like space ETs, they don't have teeth because living in outer space does that to your body. It really warps away your bones. You don't need bones. Which is why I feel like these Looshers, because they transcend time and space so much, that having a fat suit and not a bone suit with organs installed wouldn't be a good idea. Just having the fat suit, because fat is water. I mean, we're all water, right? But I think bones seem like it would be a problem. Like that part of the technology hasn't been figured out yet. But the way Looshing ends is that the Grim Reaper tells me that something like blood and bones and organs, that would be total front page news for the Looshers. They don't even know. And back to when I was talking about that one Loosher grabbing at Sophia's body and thinking about ligaments, and you touch the forearm, but the hand opens and closes. Like, he's like on the brink of remembering, but even remembering what? It's so far back in his mind. The only person in the story outside of the Grim Reaper that would know this information was the Loosher's leader. And the Loosher's leader is so ancient that, like, even from the Loosher's leader's perspective, bones, organs, that's like ancient history. Nobody's talked about that since time millennia. And if that was true, like the whole entire mind, body, spirit of everything, that the God that we are, like it would shift. It would be like alarming front page news. Oh my God, bones are real. Oh my God, organs. Oh my God, blood. This would just, oh my God, because that's how special we are. And I used to have a membership called the Sacred Stink Club. I forgot about that until this moment. It's called the Sacred Stink Club because a lot of ET folk, they're kind of terrified of us. They're not terrified of us socially and emotionally, but they're terrified of us physically and biologically, because from their perspective, we're very gross. We're very disgusting with our biology, blood, guts, bones, peeing and pooing, sneezing mucus, crying tears. Like, this is just disgusting for them. The thought of a rotting animal, the thought that we even eat meat is like, they just gross, But the thing is that if you want to live and be sustained and do this thing called conscious evolution, then part of that equation involves biology. It doesn't have to look like a Homo sapiens sapien. And that's why the 5-star shape is so powerful. 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head, right? Your 5 points. but bones and blood are a very ideal technology, because just like your reproductive system, the circulatory system, it's just that, it's a system. So the system, like the planetary system, once it's in effect, it just thrives and continues on its own and has its own consciousness. So anyways, that's Looshing. So for summer days that's coming up, the first 2 mini movies are going to be shared. So I can't show you anything else about Looshing, just showing you the slide here. And it makes you think, because when you see this cover, you're like, oh, Looshing the Grim Reaper. But now that I've told you the story, you can read the story. That's been available for a couple of years now, since 2024. So it's been available for 3 years now. But when you look at this picture of Looshing, you might think, oh, the Grim Reaper is a loosher. Oh, the Grim Reaper is a bad, scary guy. And really, it's like the Grim Reaper is better known as the cosmic custodian, and is the ultimate person, gatekeeper, that can provide information about reduce, reusing, recycling, and this business of souls and transmigration. There's much to be said. So if you're looking for something to do, you definitely want to join us for Promise of Spring. And just before I let you go, I wouldn't mind putting it on screen share again, because I want to show you my Buy Me a Coffee. And those of you who are just tuning in, today my guest wasn't able to make it. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to be your guest, and I'm going to promote Looshing. Been working really hard on it behind the scenes. The images, hands down, they could be better, but at least it gets the point across. And I'm really excited, those who are going to really transform this as the years go by. So let me put it on screen share here. So like I said, the conference tickets are $40 Canadian. However, right now on my Buy Me a Coffee, you can get a free ticket. It's really easy. You just have to do it. So I'm working with pull energy here. Okay, let me take that down and add this to the stage. Okay, so here's my Buy Me a Coffee. I'll put that in the chat. It's in the description too. Oh, come on. All right, there it is in the chat. So if you go to my Buy Me a Coffee, you can go to my membership, learn about all the memberships that I offer. This one here is worth highlighting, because if you get the collective membership, Project 30 Isis Unity Consciousness, it's $30 Canadian a month, and it includes bonuses. And one of those bonuses is getting a ticket to the conference. Bonus number 4 includes free live link to Gina's online conferences. There's 4 a year, so you save huge just on that. And then, of course, bonus number 5, this is just starting to unfold now, really exciting. So anytime I publish a mini movie, or maybe I get excited and I want to show you my slides or what I have, it's not even finished, it's still in the process, like, you're going to get in on special links to that. So I don't have anything created right now other than the mini movie Looshing that I'm working on. But this is part of the hype, because those who belong to the Project 30 membership, Isis Unity Consciousness, this is going to be really special, because as the conferences go by, we're going to keep showing it. And we're going to have special movie nights where we just show the movies. And I'm looking forward to the longer ones too. So again, your soul tribe awaits you. But you know what? If you don't want to get in on the membership and you just want to hang out with us here and there, then yeah, get in on the $40 membership. Now I'm going to show you my Facebook group. Oh, whoops. I don't want to show you my Facebook group. I want to show you my post that I cross-posted onto my Facebook group. Okay, well, there's my Facebook group. This is where you're going to go. Okay, hold on here. Let me get back to Buy Me a Coffee. Okay. So on my Buy Me a Coffee, if you go to posts, I post on there pretty much every day. And right now there's lots of hype about the conferences. This is my post that went out today, and there's special instructions. And all this week, today is May 26th. So how to get a free link to the online conference, among other bonuses. You subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on BMAC. It's free to do those things. Join the free Facebook group, the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective. Again, it's free to do all of that. And then you tag me at Gina Virginia Casella in a public post in the Facebook group, the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective. And you need to answer these 2 questions. You need to tell me, why is the Story Species, Story Medicine Continuum of Conscious Evolution series important to you? I also need you to tell me, what are you looking forward to this summer days, June 13th? So those answers are due on my Facebook group. Make sure you tag me by midnight, Friday, May 29th. That's going to give me time to cross-check things. So I'll be cross-referencing the different platforms. If you have different names on different platforms, make sure you mention that. I'm working with Pole Energy, so this is really great. And maximum 3 people can get a ticket. So it'll probably be the first 3 people who do that, and they need to meet the criteria. So if you're hopeful to get a free ticket, that's one way how you can do it. And the winners will be announced on Sunday. So, all right. And I feel like this could be a nice new routine coming on Story Species, Story Medicine when it gets closer to the conferences to promote, make sure you know. And I like the idea of having 3 tickets available for free. Let me know if you like that idea too. So Looshing. So scary, so scary. I don't have nightmares. I mean, they're very far and few, and this was like a real nightmare that I had. So, and the song Dark Night of the Soul is 4 minutes. It's 4 minutes. So I've got 4 minutes worth of slides and little videos that I've put together to make a mini movie. It's my first one, total amateur. So make sure you show your support. Come to the conference where I'll be showcasing it for the first time ever. And if you're interested in helping me out to make mini movies, or maybe you want to take the mini movie and make it into a 60, 90-minute film, that would be phenomenal. Or maybe you're like Laura and you create music, you're looking to promote yourself. Hey, let's keep it within the Soul Tribe. If I'm going to be promoting music, I want to promote Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective music. So if you play the guitar, or you sing, or you dance, like, we could totally use that, right? So I'm always open. All right, Dragon Dreamers. Thank you so much for joining me on Story Species, Story Medicine. I'd love to know what kind of story medicine you're taking these days, what kind of movie medicine you're interested in. And if you're interested in being a guest on my show, please reach out. I would absolutely love to have you. So, all right. Oh, there we go. There was a little glitch. Okay, so when it comes to little glitches and stuff like that, we're having a tech rehearsal. So we've got 3 weeks till the conference. So there's this Saturday, next Saturday is the tech rehearsal, and then next Saturday is the conference. So time's really going to fly by now. And it's been a real thrill being the producer and creator of the conference. And it's something that I never thought I would do, testament to dreaming beyond your wildest dreams, and never, ever thought I would do anything like this in my life. And it's really rewarding. It's rewarding the behind the scenes, getting to know people and seeing people for their authentic selves. You know, you see people on TV, on the big screen, but you really don't get that authentic side, personality. And I find on Story Species, Story Medicine, the guests who come on my show, their authenticity really gets a chance to shine. And that's exactly what the conferences are like. So just a very quick reminder, you can go to my YouTube and check out the playlist, the conferences, and you can find Promise of Spring there. And it's almost a 10-hour day, so you can watch the whole thing, beginning, middle, end. And if you just want to have a scroll through the playlist, you'll see I've broken it down. So if you just want to watch Brian Rue, then you can find Brian's presentation. So I really look forward to spending time and connecting with you about the movies. And I feel like there's something else I wanted to say. I don't remember. Oh, yes, now I remember. So the thing that I wanted to say was that those of you who are new to me that have never watched Story Species, Story Medicine before, Extra Strength, this was a special show promoting the conference and also promoting my mini movie series, which I hope to see more of. So, all right, everybody, hope you have a great day. Gina, Virginia, Casella here. Take care, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.
Story Species, Story Medicine, Extra Strength. Ready to take your medicine with Gina, Virginia, Casella?
Species of medicine, open for the task. Extra strength is everything you'd ever ask. Many with the soil, many with the sea. Earth is a medicine for you and for me. Scrubbing off the tarnish, building up the trust. Honest little tales rising from the rest. Truth is in the living, truth is in skin. Open up the portal, let the healing in. Extra strength, extra soul. Medicine to make us whole. Feel the rhythm, feel the pace. Every single space. Are you ready for the cure? Keep it steady, keep it pure. Extra